In a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and lush valleys, there lived a wise and noble king. His fame stretched beyond the borders of his realm, not just for his wealth or the size of his armies, but for his wisdom that ran deeper than any treasure and gentler than the quietest stream. The king had 3 children, a daughter, radiant and curious, and 2 sons, adventurous and clever. He loved them not just as a father, but as a teacher, determined to impart the lessons that had shaped his own journey through life. One fine morning, after the palace gardens had been awakened by the songs of birds, the king beckoned his children to his study. Sunlight poured through stained glass, casting wild colors across the floor. The shelves were stacked with books, scrolls, and relics from distant lands. What could he have to teach them today? "My children," the king began, his voice both gentle and commanding, "you have seen the world marvel at the treasures of our house, but there is a power greater than riches and a glory brighter than gold. Today, I want to tell you the true secret of quiet success." The eldest son, eager and confident, responded, "Father, is not success meant to be seen and celebrated? Is that not how the people know the strength of our family and the might of our kingdom?" The king smiled, seeing himself in his son's questioning eyes. "We are taught to trumpet our victories, to display our splendor," he answered. "But listen well to this story, for it holds the wisdom you must one day carry." He led his children out to the palace balcony, overlooking the sprawling capital city. The king pointed to the bustling market below. "There is a merchant in this city," he began, "who owns caravans that stretch beyond the horizon, filled with silks and spices, jewels and metalwork. Yet few know his name, and none have seen him dressed in finery or heard him boast about his riches." Each morning, the merchant's shop opened with humble banners and quiet order. The merchant greeted every customer, from prince to pauper, with the same warmth and respect. His rivals often wondered about the source of his prosperity, while others proclaimed their triumphs loudly, enticing the masses with extravagant displays. The merchant remained unassuming, focusing instead on his craft and honesty. One year, a famine swept the land. The loudest merchants, so eager to showcase their largesse before, were among the first to flounder. Distracted by pride, they had forgotten to prepare for hardship. But the humble merchant had quietly stocked his granaries, saving for just such a day. When calamity struck, he fed the hungry and aided the suffering, not for applause, but because it was right. Gratitude flowed to him, and so did trust, multiplying the riches he had never boasted of. The king paused, letting the story linger. Then he turned back to his children. "The lesson is simple. The tallest tree does not shout at the wind, and yet, by growing silently each day, it becomes the strongest in the forest. True achievement, built through patient toil and humility, is its own reward. Garlands and cheers are fleeting, but the respect and quiet admiration you earn through dignity and grace will outlast the noisiest celebrations." The princess, her voice thoughtful, asked, "Does that mean we must never share our joy, father? Are we to hide ourselves away?" The king knelt to meet her gaze. "Rejoice in your blessings, my child, but never mistake noise for joy, nor praise for purpose. Share your happiness, encourage others. But let your work speak for itself. Let the world see your light, yet do not feel the need to announce it." He told them of a time his own pride nearly cost him dearly. In his youth, the king had won a decisive battle, and, caught up in the glow of victory, he threw a lavish parade. Songs were sung, banners flew, and the people celebrated. Yet, while his mind was caught up in the glory, he neglected to check on the needs of his soldiers, or offer thanks to those who had supported him quietly from the shadows. He learned later that several of his closest allies felt unseen and unappreciated, and the kingdom's treasury, emptied by the extravagant celebration, was vulnerable to hardship. It was a lesson carved deeply into his heart. Do not mistake the sound of applause for the substance of enduring success. Real achievement is nourished by humility. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in orange and gold, the king's voice softened. You must decide, my children, what kind of legacy you wish to leave. Will you dazzle and startle for a fleeting moment, or will you grow like the steadfast tree, quiet, strong, and enduring? His children sat in silence, absorbing the wisdom. The eldest son, once boastful, now understood. The princess, once eager to please, found new calm, and the youngest, often overlooked, realized the quiet power of a steady path. In the years that followed, their kingdom flourished under their rule, never the loudest, but always among the wisest. For true greatness, they learned, is not in showing off, but in rising with quiet strength, bringing light to others without the need for applause. In the end, the world's most admired successes are often those that grew quietly, nurtured by diligence, wisdom, and humility, a truth taught by a king, cherished by his children, and lasting through the ages.